Welcome to the Tea Time Podcast, where it's all about taking a few healthy minutes each day just for you, with your host, Sharissa Bradley.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode for the Tea Time Podcast. My name is Sharissa Bradley, and I am so excited to be joining you here again today as we are continuing our series of reading Journey Back to Health together and working through whatever challenges that we are facing together in community. And I just want to jump right in and talk about chapter 2. As I was reading through this chapter, I recognized that there is still so much work to be done with regards to thoughts, attitudes, and beliefs around healing. For a long time, I wanted to punish myself for not being able to eat, not being able to just do what everyone else can do so naturally and get up and eat breakfast and eat lunch and not really have these extreme breakdown moments of panic attacks because you have to make lunch, which is a very real experience for me because I want to be able to be somebody who regularly eats all the meals without the nausea, without feeling awful. And it is still something I'm struggling with. And I battled with myself sharing this with you all today, but lately I've been adding this little green drink to my morning routine. And it has some added nutrients, some added electrolytes, things that I was just hoping that would start my day off really well and feeling a lot better. But it turns out that it's kind of detoxing and I was feeling a little bit worse. And so I thought, one of the days that I was drinking this drink, I thought, okay, well, maybe if I pair it with a little bit of fiber or a little bit of food, then that would help me through the process of drinking this green drink without feeling worse after the fact. And so I made myself a piece of peanut butter toast, and I thought that if I drank the drink while I ate the toast, that I would be okay. And I was really struggling with the embarrassment around the fact that I actually couldn't get through the whole piece of toast. I was only able to eat half of the peanut butter toast, and I had to take really, really tiny bites because I was fighting the nausea the entire time. And by the time I got to the half a piece, I was almost in tears because the amount of effort and energy that it took for me to consume this really, really small piece of bread with peanut butter, something that I could always eat without any issues. It was incredibly trying for me, and it also showed me that I have a lot more work to do around the thoughts and beliefs that I have about food. And even if I just want to kind of rush this process, I'm sharing it and being vulnerable, so maybe I'm going to heal faster, it's just not coming to fruition that way. And I have to just be where I'm at and give myself a little bit of grace and a little bit of understanding. And there's this part in the book that I wanted to read to you today because as I was reading it, it kind of gave me this little bit of sense of it's okay to be where I'm at and to be just feeling the way that I'm feeling without adding on to the nausea and the issues with more shame and more doubt and more fear. So in this chapter 2, which we're working through in this episode, it's all about the thoughts and beliefs around healing. And when I first wrote this book, I was healing autoimmune disease, and the book talks about how when I was kind of in this journey of healing myself, fixing myself, I was also trying to help other people. I had a nutrition business. I was trying to help other people heal their autoimmune disease using food as medicine. And I was still struggling myself. And even though I had done diet changes, exercise changes, sleep changes, radically changed every single thing about my life, I was still experiencing a lot of autoimmune symptoms and a lot of flare-ups. And so I was listening to this podcast episode by Hal Elrod, and he was interviewing this woman, Tanya Rainier. She's a mindset coach, and she was talking all about how mindset and the beliefs that we have about ourselves are what is actually dictating our behaviors and the feelings that we're having. So what she shared in that episode inspired me so much. I reached out to her and I actually hired her as a business coach. And she ended up helping me in so many more ways than just my business. She ended up helping me through these mindset issues that I was dealing with around healing. So when I was thinking about my body, I regularly was saying things like, my body is trying to kill me. I said that all the time. My body's trying to kill me. My body's trying to kill me. And the reason that I said that is because I was just waking up so sick and in so much pain every single day. And Some nights I would pray that I just wasn't going to wake up the next day because the pain was awful. The feeling of being in the midst of an autoimmune flare for years at a time, it can make you feel hopeless and in a state of despair that doesn't ever feel like it's going to go away. And so those beliefs that was running this pattern and these cycles in my head were like, my body's trying to kill me. And then when I got the autoimmune diagnosis, the celiac diagnosis specifically, I started feeling like restaurants were going to try to kill me. My friends, if I went over to their houses and ate at their table, that they were trying to kill me. The paranoia was at an all-time high. And when Tanya entered my life, she started teaching me things around how worthy I am in this moment. And that even though these beliefs that were ingrained years and years earlier, they did not hold any longer. They were not beliefs that I needed to carry anymore. So from the book, chapter 2, there's this spot that caught me when I was rereading, and it says, in order to do this, we must practice these facts: that we are worthy of being healthy, that it is okay to let go of false beliefs that are no longer serving you, and that no matter where you are in your journey, you are loved right now completely. And that is a truth that I needed to start to incorporate into my life. And as I'm rereading the book, I'm realizing I actually have to do this work again, because I started to notice, oh, the anorexia actually came from and was born of this place of not being cared for, not being given our basic human needs. If you're familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, at the very base of the pyramid is our physiological needs, our need for safety, a clean place to sleep at night, our need for food, and our need for water, and our need for shelter. When I was about 5 years old, we moved into a tent and lived next to a river. And in order to get to any sort of town or even like a bathtub or like an indoor bathroom, we would have to cross a river, like an actual raging river, on a fallen tree trunk. And at this point, I'm like 5 years old. I've been taken from my home, my creature comforts, my bedding, my stuffed animals. I'm thinking when I look at my son, who's now 6, like, what are the things that I would have had that were taken from me? We were a family of 4 children, a single mother, and we had a Volvo. And from the place that we moved to the tent that we lived in was about 6 hours away. So if you can imagine a family of 5, what they can fit inside of a Volvo, that's what we were able to take with us. And during that about 9-month journey of living in that tent and living next to the river, we did not have access to what I now look at now as like this like food access. I look at it like we didn't have a refrigerator. So we did not have like food that could be preserved. We did not have any source of our own water. So in order to get water, we had to get it from the river, boil it, put it into a jug, tie that jug into the river so that it would cool down, and then we would have access to fresh water. So it wasn't accessible to even have fresh water. So when we look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, when I was 5 or 6 years old, all of my basic human needs were stripped from me. And the words that I heard, the things that were taught to me about why I didn't have food or why I didn't have access, is that belief or these things that I wasn't worthy of that. And the words that I heard, the arguments that I heard back when I would say like, I'm hungry or I'm thirsty, were like, you're not grateful for what we're giving you. When in reality, there wasn't really anything being given. And I was being trained to not have any needs from such a young age because there was no access. I look at what my kids have now, and they have like a pantry and a refrigerator and things, and even now like a deep freezer. Like I have all of this access that I've given myself that my 5-year-old self would just be so grateful for. I have a clean, warm home to sleep in every single night. My at any moment I could go to the pantry and grab some trail mix or a granola bar or go make myself a smoothie. These are the things that I did not have access to during the time in my life when all of this information about my worthiness and my self-worth and my deserving were all being ingrained in me. So the stories I heard were, you're not worthy of being fed or cared for. And now as an adult woman, I'm having to go back, kind of dig into those skeletons in my closet and say, why can't I make it through a piece of peanut butter toast without feeling like I'm going to throw up? And it really comes down to this: I am worthy of these nutrients. I am worthy of this time and attention. I've even started spending a little bit more time on myself getting ready, like curling my hair or taking more time for self-care. And the reason I've been doing that over this last couple of weeks is because I'm trying to prove to myself that I am worthy of my own time. I am worthy of my own care and attention. And even though there were people in my life who were supposed to take care of me that absolutely didn't and taught me that I wasn't worthy of being cared for, they were wrong and they were liars and they didn't have the capacity to care for children. And now I am responsible for caring for myself. What I'm trying to work on this week specifically is giving myself that grace, because even though I'm still struggling with the nausea, I'm still struggling with the idea around anorexia, I am taking conscious effort to retrain my body and retrain my mind. And this chapter 2 on beliefs in Journey Back to Health, it really is all about understanding what we believe about ourselves. And when I got kind of like back into this healing crisis of like, I'm not able to eat properly, the reason for that was because there were still these stories that were existing in my brain that were there way before I even could be cognizant of them, around my worthiness for basic human needs. And in order to combat that massive boulder in my way, it's going to take these little baby steps and these little tiny things along the way to kind of help me change my thoughts and help me change my beliefs around my worthiness, around my time and my attention, and around being fed and nurtured. Because as I change that and as I develop those new stories of how worthy I am and how capable, I am going to naturally be able to do these things that I want to do. So I will encourage you this week, if you're struggling with anything at all, please dig into your thoughts and your beliefs, and maybe from way back when, what did they say you were worthy of? What did they say that you were deserving of? And if there is anything back there in the past that negates your worthiness now, or tells you that you're not capable or that you're not deserving of love, basic human needs, care, attention, home, safety, food, water, shelter, then I will encourage you to dig up those stories. Do the exercise in the book that Tanya Rainier graciously gifted me for this book, and try to find those little past kind of bombs that are just living in your brain rent-free that don't deserve to be there anymore, because you are worthy. You're worthy of your time. You're worthy of your care. You're worthy of your attention. And I just want to reiterate, you are loved at this exact moment, no matter where you're at in your journey. I very much look forward to next week and chapter 3, and I cannot wait to see you there. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you for another episode next week. Bye.
Thank you for spending your tea time with us. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode.